Hello gamers, what's up boys? Welcome to another YouTube video. This time it's the second day of the auction event and you will have noticed that the K2 is for sale. Now the K2 is a Russian heavy, and yes, if you look at it from this angle, it really does look like an is-4 from behind. It really does look like an is-4. From the front you can see this armor, and this upper hull is actually incredibly strong. It's insane. Actually, against most tanks, this plate doesn't actually become weak, which is really weird. Lower plate is very penable though, thankfully. And this also comes with an interesting thing, which is -6. This is quite decent to play around with. You can see mobility-wise, it is not that fast. I'm going to be playing towards the 5-6 line here. But this tank, this is my first battle on this tank. I'm experiencing it together with you. It's like literally first impressions, by the way. Mobility-wise, you can see it's really not that fast, which, okay, that's fine. I mean, does it have to be fast? It already has a very, very good upper frontal plate. If he spots us out, though, he's going to be probably running away. If he doesn't, we're going to peek him from the left here. The peek on the left is always possible, as long as you don't peek too far right into the Chimera. If he realizes what is going to happen, he runs away. Now, about the ammo types that you have on this tank, you have an AP with 203, and you have a heat shell, a 122 caliber with 270. NBZ is potentially coming back. You can see in reverse, it's also not too much. It's maybe a tank where you want to rock turbo on, but it wouldn't be turbo HP, it would be turbo stabs. Other gun handling, not good enough for... I mean, most Russian heavies don't have good enough gun handling to rock turbo HP. I do spot the two guys sitting there. I'm trying to farm the light tank here. It's not really working out. I actually have to run away as well because of the fact that the... We do get that one though. Because of the fact that they're winning the forest. When they start winning the forest, you almost always run away back towards the church area, which is what I'm going to be doing now, actually. And alpha-wise, 390. It's 486 is just a preferred CC RNG roll. We're minus 4k already from the beginning of the game. I think I made the BZ angry, guys. I think I made him angry. Unfortunately, this gun is not the greatest. It's a brawler because of the upper hull. Because of the fact you have some gun depression as well. But this gun is, handling-wise, is very, very Russian gun, right? I mean, I don't think that needs more explanations than this. Of course, you can side scrape with this, because, like I said, this plate doesn't really become that weak. You can also reverse side scrape with it, like you can with most Russian heavies, I would say. Looking for the Chimera here, trying to see if we could get a spot on him. Doesn't look like it. We are capping, which means they're going to be pushing towards me rather quickly. Going to be trying to hold this angle and do what we can. Seeing if we can spot an opponent pushing up towards us. Or maybe either side. We have double cap pressure, so the enemy team should be coming towards us. Maybe we can do something off of it. Get something to our advantage. The list is on the left. Can't really counter him. We are spotted now. Which is unfortunate if you think about it. Chimera is playing on the top of the thing right there. And this is shootable, but not worth it. If you want to put it that way, it's not worth to even try to shoot it. T-77 is coming. He's driving through the open. It's not looking like a good game. Yeah, not looking like a good game at all, actually. Then I get maybe owned by the T-77. Yeah, we're gonna get owned by the T-77. Here's the Stupens. The BZ is now coming. Let's see if the BZ is not gonna be penning us from behind. We hit the building there. A bit of a struggle right now going on for us. Let's put it that way. Got one on the list. Now the T-69 pushing across. He also wants to try and kill us. They all want to try and kill us. There's a T-69 with the smallest gun in existence though. This man doesn't pen us in any day of the week. Let's put it that way. He literally does not pen us with that gun ever. So we don't even have to care about him anymore. I'm trying to pick up a list here. I'm not going to be succeeding that. Vipera from the front. I'm going to be turning towards this one though. We pick him up, and you can see the armor working out pretty well. T77 coming again though. He bounces the first. Doesn't bounce the second though. We had to kill the pen on him. 69 from the front again. Being a bit of a memer. You can see the armor on this tank is it's something. It's definitely something. It's I don't know how to explain it to you, but it is interesting. Now the Chimera is on the outside. We'll give him one as well. We're out of the APC. We're out of the AP shell, so. The Chimera finally finds the pen on the lower plane. Is it a great game? No. Could you see that the armor is a little bit stupid? Yes. To get ultimate view on this armor, I think you should also just check it out yourself. I can show you because it is pretty funny. Because we're going to take a little bit of a look at it. This is how it would look for a Renegade with APCI from the front. This is what you can see with a Renegade from the front on this tank. You are not penning the upper hull whatsoever. Lower hull, 100%. When you see the lower hull, you pen it. So on like literally any angle, the lower hull is a pen. So you always shoot for that. But in general, you can see here, even if you turn into the side, you shoot for the tracks here. Because this is all space. The entire side is space armor, kind of like the 257. You'll see here, if you aim properly, you will be penning, right? But not the sidebar. It's like 257 in a way. Also, if it is looking in reverse side scrape, you can still pen this plate, of course. It all really depends on the angle you're looking at. But if it's like sideways, you don't shoot for the engine even. But mainly this part is the interesting one. If he's above you, he's going to be shooting you, but like at any other angle, because this has some gun depression. When this is peeking you, you are shooting for below the turret. Or the cupola, of course. Or lower plate if he shows it. But the upper hull, you're not going to be penning it. So, let's move over to battle number 2 on this thing. At the end of the day, though, I'm going to say it already. As much as like this upper hull is like, you know, very bouncy and such, I've only played one game on it, so my opinion is not like too accurate just yet. I see very personal reasons. I see very little personal reasons to play this tank over still BZ, Skoda, Progetto, etc., etc. Like sure, yeah, you have a good turret. You have this upper hull, which is like kind of crazy if you think about it. But what does this add for me to want to have it in my garage as a player? What does this add? Like, why would I want, outside of collecting, right? If you're a collector, then it makes sense. But outside of that, right? Outside of that, of course, also you gotta notice the HP pool, by the way. This thing has pretty good HP, right? Like basically any heavy does. But why? Why would I play it? I'm really tempted to slap a turbo on this, because it is kind of slow. It is kind of slow, dude. I could benefit from a turbo and no HP. We'll try that for the last game. We'll try turbo and no HP, because like even the IS-2, the stock IS-2 is overtaking us. And I'm telling you, man, this looks just like an IS-4 from behind. I don't know why. It's like, it really looks like an IS-4 from behind. It's almost as fast as an IS-4 though. This upper hull is still kind of weird though. Like for example, a Scorpion G Premium APCR will pen this plate 100% of the time. But from the heavies that I checked, it was all just red. Red. Even on this angle here, it was just red. Like everything was red. The lower plate, however, I think it's big enough to shoot at that you can reliably pen it. So that's a good thing, right? You'll always have the shot on the lower plate, unlike, for example, the IS-4 lower plate, right? Because in terms of playstyle, you could compare this to an IS-4. The IS-4 lower plate, much more annoying to pen at an angle for most times, to be honest. Not that fun to shoot at. This lower plate, in that regard, much worse and easy to shoot at. God, I am slow. I really need to put a turbo on this thing. Yeah, I'm thinking if you get this tank, this is a tank where you just got a turbo for it, to be honest, because like Whew. Speed-wise, this tank ain't it. Right? Speed-wise, it is not it whatsoever. And of course, in front of the car, try to hit the shot. We can't. We're just gonna continue pushing up because we're not afraid. We do not fear a Carne X, to be honest. The nice 3 on the left we can shoot, and then we can bully the corner potentially. So we'll start on this. A bit slow in turning our turrets. Also, my brass should be rather careful, unless he wants to get tapped by the BZ. I mean, this is just. That is not a pen? Am I tripping? I don't understand how that wasn't a pen. Actually, and it's gonna be one of those steamroll games, to be honest. This BZ is on reload. He tries to rocket himself away into safety. I don't know, man. This is a turbo game where you're literally just driving. It's not really a place to even test too much about the tank. You're just driving forward. It's 6-4. The game's gonna end in the next 1.5 minutes, most likely. But I stand by my point. I don't know why I would play this over the premiums that are just better, I guess, or more enjoyable to play, like Skoda for sure. Even T832 for me. He penned it. Yeah, I mean, he did shoot a driver's hatch. That's probably a 100% pen from shooting from above. But like, let's be real, this tank can't really snipe either. The velocity is not great either, with 790 meters a second, with 820 on the heat. The heat is actually faster than the AP, which is also kind of weird. But for this tank, this is not IMO a top tier premium. And if you want to get a top tier premium, this one ain't it in terms of resources whatsoever. I personally don't think I would be getting it for that purpose. Because for me, this doesn't feel like a top tier premium. I mean, I haven't had long games in it, and sure, you can get a lot of bouncing and blocking in it. But when you are getting a premium, I think you are getting a premium for the reason that it works in random battles to grind, in skirmishes to grind, and in frontline to grind. And to be honest, you want more either higher alpha guns or more reliable guns with better cooldown to achieve this goal, which I don't think this tank does. I mean, you know, okay, upper hull is crazy. It's kind of like an is-4-esque in terms of like gameplay. But I'm already not a fan of the is-4. So, to me this just feels like another 390 Russian heavy. Because even the 703, for example, has a really bouncy, strong upper plate that is really not really pennable at all. So, I would not be getting this personally unless I was collecting or I really didn't have a premium at all, and I wanted to get one. But outside of that, this is ammo, not really the tank or the highlight of premium tanks and roto tanks to go for. It's not bad though. I mean, it's still not bad, but it's like, you know, if you want to spend your resources on something, I feel like they have to be worth it, right? And since everybody always asks me, is this worth it to you? I'm checking if he's here. How does he know about that spot, dude? How does he even know about that spot, bro? Like, how does he know about that? Like, it's insane. Like, does he happen to go there often or something? Like, is this like a common occurrence for him to be playing there in his Scorpion G, or like? I'll try the third game with Turbo because it feels awfully slow when I think about it. Like, it feels awfully slow. So I'm gonna be trying just to use the Turbo setup and use that to my advantage. I would be missing, will be missing out here. Yeah, I've been taking the turbo towards the city. You can see my HP is still really high, right? I have 1700 HP, which is... I don't know, it's a very large amount of trading. This D832 has 1760, which I think is with HP booster, if I'm not wrong. So, I mean, on close range maps where you don't have to drive a lot, you are very, very healthy. But there's so many buts. The amount of maps where this tank really works is limited, I guess, because of that as well. It's not really like a multiverse premium. Like this little rocket monkey over here can play on any map. It doesn't care, right? It can play on any map. Renegades can play on every map. Redros can play on every map. Skoras can play on every map. What else is there that I'm thinking of? Liz can really kind of play on every map as well, for example. This was pretty good ammo. This, with this AP, you're not going to be sniping really anything on distance, unless you have some really good leading. So, many drawbacks there. In return, you do get a crazy upper hull, strong turret, side scrape possibilities. So, you have the goods and the bands. But like I said, when I decide if I want to get a premium, if I get a premium, it's either for marking for me personally, or it is for it is either 1 for marking, or 2 for grinding credits when I need credits. And I also don't feel like, I mean, I don't want to go to negative terrain, but I just don't feel like I would be enjoying this tank too much, playing it in randoms for over long periods of time. I'd have the crazy bounce game from time to time, but then again, if I play against tier 10s, I would not be having that much fun, because you know how tier 10 guns work. Also, of course, not forgetting that this caliber is not enough to overmatch the BZ, I think. He has enough pen for my lower plate though. But here you can see though, strength of the tank, being able to do this. Being able to do this. It's like Defender kind of gameplay, 257 kind of gameplay. All those kind of tanks, they kind of play the same way. You push up to the opponent close, you get in their phase and you just side scrape your way out of misery. He hits my lower plate, I guess. Not sure. I don't think he'd be penning my upper plate. And if you remember from the Times OGG model, you can do pretty, like, it's kind of like is-4 kind of side scrape, right? It's a bit wider than with other tanks because you have that side armor. That space armor that they cannot really go through. I have to readjust to the is-3A here. Get the pen, trying to stay safe from the TS5. I think this wall makes it so he cannot really show my lower plate. They should be okay in that regard. He has one more shot though. At least, you know, this might not be a top tier premium, but at least it's not an is-3A. At least you're not playing an is-3A if you get this. Because an is-3A is worse. It just simply is. So we go back to side scraping here, he goes to TS5. Shoots us in the track again, getting some good pens. Yeah, like, I mean, like I said, this plate here, if he shoots heat, I think he's gonna go through it. I'm not 100% on that. I think he might. I didn't check it against TS5 heat, because I think TS5 heat is like 340, right? I'm not sure entirely on that statement. But in a city map like this is the perfect environment for this tank, I would say, and the ultimate showcase of it as well. It can indeed just bully its way onto people and use that armor to its advantage, and there it probably does better than a lot of other premiums might, right? Even heavies, because of the fact that it can just bully without caring. But again, what happens when you play against tier 10s with a lot higher caliber, a lot better guns? That's a different story, right? Because there's a lot of premiums in the game that are able to just play against any tier and not care. Skora is the, you know, Progetto even as well. But I think for tanks like this, that is not really the case whatsoever. I mean, I'm getting a really good amount of blocks here though. I mean, if he shoots my lower plate, he's betting me, such as the thing. But he's not shooting my lower plate, or he's in an is-3A, which means that he simply doesn't have enough. The gun is to shit in my lower plate because it's an is-3A, and I think cannot hit anything when it's aiming at, because it has like this crazy reload mechanic, but it's balanced because the platform that it's playing on is absolute garbage. A good shot there against the A32 as well. I give this 3.8. We're pretty chilling here. I don't know what happens if I go to face hug this man. Like, I'm not really sure what happens, but we're gonna try it though. I'm gonna the eat here. So let's face hugging here. I don't know if he can. I mean, we did talk about it. I think he can pen my hatch here, but I'm not entirely sure. He can also hit my cupola, of course, which is a different story. The BZ came in with the rockets and made it so you couldn't shoot me. So I had a 4.6k battle here. Like I said, this is, in my opinion, the ideal battle, almost. Actually, it is probably the ideal battle, where you are just absolutely invincible, in a way. Because, you know, you're playing against the baits, you can just side shape, they can't really pen you. It's always good, right? And now all that is left is the nest on A2 to clear out. Will I get there? I don't think so. But we shall see. Maybe I can stop the brass. Would take about a second to hit him anyways. Because of the shell speed being so low. Maybe I could get some more assist out of this. Maybe even get an ace tanker. Who knows? Who knows? But yeah, I think I've said what I need to say about this. Side scape possibilities, upper frontal armor, good turret. Downsides, low shell speed, low speed, upside, very high health points for trading purposes. But again, with 203, I do think you're going to be shooting a lot of heat, especially in high tier MMs. Maybe not as much against tier 8s, of course, like that much is true, but against higher class tanks, I mean, even some tier 8s, so you're gonna be wishing for that heat. And I got 5.4, 4k block. Like I said, ideal battle, the best case scenario for me, and the way the game proceeded, even in the way the tank starts playing. And the good thing about this tank is that the BZ can. Where did that go? The BZ cannot pen you in the upper plate unless he's like shooting completely from above you. So there's that. I think he can pen you in the lower plate though, which is a bigger issue. I'm gonna die. Yeah, I'm gonna die. It's fine. It is completely fine. I could have done maybe one more shot of damage. Didn't do it, but like I said, ideal scenario. The most ideal scenario that you could ever get in this tank. And yeah, good battle overall. Kind of saves this session as well. We'll see the credit income as well after this, keeping into mind that I don't have a personal boost or a clan boost running, right? So you could add those credits on top of it if you are in a clan that is providing you with these. But yeah, I think I've done what I had to do. I've shown you the tank, I've shown you the gameplay, and now it's up for you to decide if this is what you want to get or not. You are the judge. You're one of your resources. I can just tell you that I know this tank is fine. It plays fine. I wouldn't get it though. Or just day-to-day credit grinding, I probably wouldn't get it. I mean, I got an ace tanker as well, 4.6k block. It is a really good game. Credit income, 51k out of this. I think that's also because, does it have premium status already or not? Is it elite? Yeah, that's because it's an elite. It doesn't have the premium status, right? Is this an elite? Should be a premium, right? I mean, how would it not be a premium? I guess it just doesn't have the premium status applied to it yet. Anyways, let's see what we could do over these 3 battles. We got 3.3 average on this, which is pretty good for a tier 8, mainly saved by this battle, though. Mainly saved by this battle. Equipment-wise, I think you have to play Turbo on it. Turbo Stab Spammer or HP Stab Spammer for really close maps. Field mods because it's a tier 8, there's only 3. We don't take this anymore because it can get tracked in one shot. Aiming circle size and then the extra view range. As always, gamers, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It gives you some insight into whether this tank may be something for you or not. And I'll see you guys all on the very next one. Thank you for watching. See you guys on the next one. Peace, boys.